Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So I want to cover the situation that's happening with Russia, give you my thoughts on it. I've done numerous videos about this in the past, covering a lot of different factors involved here. So that's what I'm going to be going into. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please, please, please make your own decisions. Make the decisions that you are comfortable with and that you have confidence in. Don't make decisions based on what I say or anybody else. All right. Now, I am not a geopolitical expert. There are some things geopolitically that I have a decent understanding on, and there are some things that I have no understanding on. For example, Israel and Palestine. I have no understanding of that situation. I haven't researched it. I don't talk about it. I don't engage in conversations because I am ignorant on the subject. However, with Russia, I did spend a year looking into the Russia collusion situation and diving into all the information that exists with that. So for that reason, I feel a little bit more comfortable having this conversation about the situation in Russia than I would a different geopolitical issue. So I've been saying this since I started posting videos about this months and months ago about the situation in Russia. Any conflict with Russia is net positive for crypto. Regardless of what they do with the price, it is net positive for crypto. If you only look at the situation through this prism, conflict with Russia and the price is going down. So conflict with Russia is bad for crypto. If you look at it through that lens, then yes, that's about as simplistic as a view as somebody can have. And there's going to be a lot of people on crypto YouTube and on the mainstream media that are going to say things like that today. You should ignore these people for this reason. The big story here is the petrodollar and the US dollar as the world reserve currency. So if you don't understand the petrodollar, I've been over this in previous videos. Long story short, we came to an agreement with Saudi Arabia many years ago to where we would provide some degree of military assistance. And in exchange for that, they would require countries to buy oil from them in US dollars. This is one of the reasons why we export tons and tons of dollars all around the world. So there's that. Now, within the last, I think, 8 months, I did a video when it came out. Russia signed or agreed to some type of agreement, partnership with Saudi Arabia that involves some type of military cooperation. So as soon as that came out, I was like, okay, something's going on here. Something is at play because we have an agreement with the Saudis for stuff like that. Okay. Now, it doesn't go on to elaborate on any implications with oil purchases in regards to this agreement. But as soon as Russia entered into that agreement with the Saudis, I was like, okay, this something might be happening here. So the big story here is if you listen to anybody that's talking about this today, and they do not mention the implications of the petrodollar, of the Russian agreement with the Saudis, and of our US dollar being the world reserve currency, they do not know what the hell they're talking about, or either they are openly pushing propaganda. One of those two options. All right. Because that's the story here. That's the context. That's the bigger thing that's at play here. So moving on from that, conflict with Russia is bad for the global economy, bad for the financial system. This could further lead to China and Russia moving away from the global financial system. All of that is net positive for Bitcoin and for crypto. If you look into this any deeper than just surface level, you will find that this is net positive for crypto. But I said at the time, months ago, that if there is something that happens here, they might try to dump the price and push fear and scare people out of the market. But I explained very systematically how this is big picture net positive for crypto. This just means that we're getting closer to the end. You know, when they start threatening global war, world war, nuclear war from Senator Wicker, who should have resigned after he said that. When that starts getting thrown out there, that's how you know that we're coming up on something. I don't know what it is, but something's going to happen in the foreseeable future. So to that point, the reason why I'm more comfortable talking about this than I would be a different geopolitical issue is because I looked into the Russia collusion situation for a year. I've read everything that exists. Okay. I read Bongino's book, Greg Jarrett's book, Michael Isaacov's book. I wanted to get both sides of the story. So I read all three of those different books. I read the Steele dossier, the Mueller report, FBI 302's closed door testimony. I listened to the Mueller testimony. So I've read everything that exists on this. And what I'm here to tell you, regardless of your opinion about it, right? I'm not trying to be political, right? I didn't even vote in this past election because in 2021, and they had a big election in my state. I didn't vote because I don't believe in the system anymore. Okay. So I'm not trying to get political here. What I'm telling you is that this was a media fabricated fairy tale that was coordinated with the intelligence agencies, all of the intelligence agencies, the Department of Justice, foreign intelligence agencies, England, the UK, other countries in the UK, Ukraine. There was operatives in Ukraine, in Australia. This was a global coordinated conspiracy. I am perfectly fine calling it a conspiracy because that's what it was. There was no truth to this whatsoever. Anything like you hear about the Trump Tower meeting, and you hear about George Papadopoulos and Michael Flynn, and they're all doing all these really sketchy things and this and that and the other. When you dig deeper into it, you will see that this is one of the biggest scandals, only to be superseded by the things that we're currently living through right now. Okay. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is because for 3 years, the media, the politicians, and the Department of Justice lied about this. They openly lied. They knew they were lying. There was nothing there. They knew it. The only things that were there were things that they planted there, or things that they, staged there to make it seem like something was going on. This is actually a great story. If you ever do want to read it, I mean, when you'll see the depths that they will go to push propaganda, to push narratives, to create false realities, it's insane. It is insane. This is when I knew everything was off the rails, and I knew that something, that we weren't going to be able to, exist in this type of, system, but for so much longer. Because when I looked into this, I mean, my mind, I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't look away anymore. I was like, okay, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. These people have gone off the rails. They are no longer operating within any degree of legitimacy whatsoever, and these people need to go. Right? The system needs to go. Everything is corrupt. And it's not just here. This was coordinated with numerous different other countries and intelligence agencies. So the reason that I say that is because, given what we're seeing now, I would take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. You don't have to take my word for what happened with the Russia collusion situation. You can go do your own research on that. You will find, depending on how much information you do, you will find the same thing that I just said. So, because that's the reality of the situation. I've read everything that exists. So there's that. Okay, that's the only reason I feel comfortable talking about this at all. But the main point, the main takeaway here, again, is the petrodollar. Okay, and if people are talking about this today without talking about that, then you should ignore them. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, or either they're pushing propaganda. I would expect anything, though. These are desperate people. I said that in my previous Russia video. These are desperate, desperate people. They are probably more worried about their own citizens than they are foreign countries. If you really look into the whole dynamics of this situation, with Ukraine potentially joining NATO, and Russia doesn't want them to join NATO, and so US is going to step in here, and different countries within NATO are going to do this and that and the other. All of this is ridiculous. This is all, and there might be shots fired, there might be missiles fired, people might die. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that something bigger is going on behind the scenes. They're setting something else up. Is this what they're going to do to crash the global economy? I don't know. All I'm telling you is that there are a lot of implications here for the dollar, the petrodollar, and the global economy. That's all I'm saying. On top of that, Russia parliamentarians, government officials, and finance chiefs remain deeply divided on the issue of crypto regulation. Ban crypto, but legalize mining and issue a gold-backed stablecoin, urges top Russian MP. So I read this article. This did come from a top Russian MP. So a gold-backed stablecoin would be running on the blockchain, which is where everything is moving. So this is just playing right into that, right? And this could very well, this could change tomorrow. Like, look at everything that came out about India. Right? They were banning it one day, they were not banning it the next day, and then all of a sudden the ETF popped up, or they started to just say, okay, we're going to do this or whatever. But just understand this. Understand that there's a level of psychological warfare happening. There is an attack on reality. That's what you need to understand. There's an attack on reality. So take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. If you have not done extensive research into something, I would be hesitant to come to any type of definitive conclusions for yourself. Again, guys, I've told you the only two things I'm confident in is that blockchain's the new system and it's being implemented right now. Outside of that, even in situations like this, I don't have any degree of real confidence in anything else outside of that. So I think anything's up in the air. I would expect anything. These are desperate people. They're on the hot seat. Everybody's looking at them. There's been tons of corruption exposed. These people are criminals. These people are flat out criminals. So expect anything. These are, seriously, that's all I got. That's all I got for this video. You know my position on this. Take care. Don't be afraid. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.